All right, you guys, so today we are going to be talking about one of the most powerful tools that we have in our arsenal no matter what. And this is the concept of noticing and naming. Now, at this point in the program, some of you are still tracking your macros. Some of you have decided that it's not for you. Some of you started with the 5 habits and you're going to continue with the 5 habits. I want to reiterate that tracking macronutrients is one tool that you have in the course of your life. Like, it's great for a lot of things, but is not something meant to be used for your entire life. Like, we need to start to learn to trust our bodies and understand how to truly give our bodies what they need. We can do that after we have some awareness created from tracking macros. So I'm totally pro tracking for a certain amount of time and for certain goals, but I'm also pro you owning your choices and really understanding what your body needs. How do we do this? One of the ways is by noticing and naming. This has been brought up before with, I believe when we talked about the weekend and I asked you how your weekend went. We're going to start to notice patterns. We're going to start to notice habits. We're going to start to notice feelings. We just want to start to notice and pay attention. Then we can put a name to those things that we keep doing habitually on autopilot. And if we need to change them, we can. So let me talk about this first. Right now, I want you to think about what's going on right now. Like, just wherever you're at, whether you're at work or at home, you're eating lunch, like, what's happening right now? Chances are you don't 100% know what's going on because you're focused on like several things. You don't know exactly what's around you. You don't know what you're thinking. You may be aware kind of what you're doing. Maybe there's some things you're doing, but you're not aware that you're doing it, like grabbing for certain foods, drinking certain things, tapping your toes, things of that nature. You're not 100% aware of what's going on right now. So take some time and really figure out, okay, where am I? What am I doing? And what's going on in my head? Start to really, really notice. So you guys, our brains, it makes thousands of small decisions every single day. Most of them are automatic and unconscious. And this is a great thing because we can drive to work without it like taxing our brain. We can tie our shoes without being overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, how do I do this? We can brush our teeth while being on autopilot. But the downside to that is we do the habits over and over again that maybe aren't moving us in the directions that we want to go. Like, you know, when you snack on crackers while you're preparing dinner, while you pour that second glass of wine while you're getting the meal ready. Snacking is an easy one. Maybe you've got a bad habit of always ending your meal with like a handful of Hershey's chocolates. You know, sometimes that's okay, but sometimes it's not okay. And if it's just a repeated action that you're doing without thinking about it, that's where we need to like say, okay, I need to be more aware in this situation. So we don't make bad food decisions because we are lazy or that we're dumb. It's just that they're automatic. And a lot of times we need to snap ourselves back into the present moment so that we can make a conscious decision. And I would challenge you, if you struggle with the mindless eating, if it's a bag or a box of something, ask yourself out loud, do I want this food? Am I hungry right now? Do I really want to be eating this? And straight up like say it out loud. Most of the time, like 99% of the time, you're gonna say out loud to yourself, no, I'm gonna close this box and put it away because I don't really want this right now. Right? You're just on autopilot. It's there. It's convenient. It tastes good. It's serving a purpose. You like the crunch. You like the salt. You like the sweet. You don't actually want whatever it is that you're eating. You're not even hungry. So how do we do this? You slow down. You slow down, then you can notice and name. Quick side note, I'm actually reading this book right now. It's called Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow. There's 2 parts of our brains. One part of our brain is that habitual thing. The other one is the more methodical brain. If you can bring yourself back into that more methodical brain when it comes to you're eating and how you're eating, you're gonna be more aware of what it is that you're doing and be able to make more conscious decisions. So noticing just means pausing and paying attention. What's going on right now? What am I doing? Naming just means you take an extra moment to describe the situation to yourself. Call it out. Hey, Kylie, you're mindlessly eating popcorn. Hey, Kylie, you don't need another drink. Hey, Kylie, stop watching TV. Get off the couch. Things of that nature. How does this help you? When you slow down, pause, pay attention, you put on your conscious thinky brain, the slow brain that I just talked about, you put that in charge instead of your unconscious automatic brain. So we need our automatic brain for some things, but we want to make sure the automatic brain isn't steering us in a direction that we don't want to, in a direction we don't want to go. When you slow down, you're better able to make informed choices like picking healthy foods or stopping eating. This goes hand in hand with eating slowly and to 80% full. So when you're done tracking macros and you've transitioned out of fat loss through your maintenance and you go into intuitive eating, these two things, eating slowly to 80% full and noticing and naming, these are the tools that you will use so you won't have to worry about eating too much that you start to gain weight again. Because you know you're making informed choices, you're stopping when you're no longer hungry, you stop snacking unless it's a planned snack and you're actually hungry for that snack. So now you can call yourself out, you name it. Because so here's just about me. Let's talk about me for 1 second. Here's what I noticed at home when I work from home. When I struggle with transitions, like let's say I hang up on a client call and then I need to do a different task, but I'm not exactly sure what that task is, I'll go into the kitchen and I'll get something to eat. Not because I'm hungry, but because I don't know what to do, and that fills the time. I feel like I'm not just sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I'm doing something, I'm eating, but I'm not actually hungry. It's not actually lunchtime or anything. So that's something I've called myself out. I'll be like, hey, Kylie, you're doing that thing, that transition eating thing that you do, and I can stop myself dead in my tracks. So that's what you do. You're like, hey, Rachel, you're doing that thing again that you do. And you're like, oh, that's right, Rachel, I'm sorry. And you're talking to yourself. It's all back and forth, you and you. And you're noticing that. And you're like, okay, let me take a second and regroup. Okay, I'm back on track. You see how, well, I say it's easy. It's easy in theory, but not so much in practice, because you really got to pull yourself into the present moment and get conscious. So we don't want to be unconsciously moving through our days. I want you totally aware, self-aware. So that's what I want to start having you do, whether you're tracking your macros or not. Especially if you're not tracking your macros, do this. But even if you are tracking macros, start to watch your patterns. What are the things you're doing habitually that maybe you should not be doing? Let's name them. Let's put a name to those things so you can call yourself on it. And figure out what is distracting you. How can you refocus on your goals? Stay aware what's happening right now. What is it that you find yourself just randomly doing? You're like, oh my God, how did I end up in the kitchen again? Right? Oh, you're doing that transition eating thing. So that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take a moment, you're gonna pause, pay attention. We're gonna start to notice and name. And then whatever you notice, you guys, it's just like yoga. We're just noticing things. We're not judging ourselves for transition eating. We're just shining a light on it so we can change it. The awareness is where the power comes in. The awareness is what's gonna show you what needs to be adjusted, and from there you can take action. So always just notice, be compassionate with yourself and be kind, because you're learning. You're getting to know yourself a little bit better. You're like that new friend. Be kind to that person. And then maybe you also start noticing yourself doing really cool things. You're like, I just got up when my alarm went off. I used to hit snooze all the time, but now I'm just getting up. Or I'm getting 10,000 steps in a day. I don't even think about it anymore. So make sure that you're taking the time also to pat yourself on the back for all the good things that you notice yourself doing. Keep making the best choices that you can with awareness and compassion and kindness. And I hope you find this helpful. I will type some questions up above in the video so you can add this to a journal entry and really dive in for this, because this is a game changer for a lot of us, especially as we transition into intuitive eating. So thanks for listening, you guys. Have an awesome afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon.